An example of this TEK is whenever we had to write lyrics for our previous project. We had to make a parody, and what we did is we first had to write our own lyrics using the music of the song of our choice, and that kind of explained when we were writing the lyrics how we were using grammar and writing and editing, and as well as scripts. For this TEK, what we had to do is we were timing our video to match the lyrics. So we had to mouth the lyrics rather than actually singing it in our video. So what we had to do is make sure that the lyric was on beat and on point with the video so it wouldn't sound off. I described this when we made our parody video because we had to make sure that it was school appropriate for our audience as well as fitting the purpose of our video, like what the lyrics are trying to say and the situation of it. 2B. This was basically whenever we wrote our lyrics for our previous project, because we had to organize what we wanted to say with the group and come up with ideas and contribute to it. And then we wrote it all down so we can know what we were going to say when the time came. 2D basically explains when we're working with critical friends or presentations, and critical friends is when someone from your group or maybe other groups gives you advice and some ideas of improvement for your work or any project that you are doing, and that can help you build and kind of like basically, improve what you're doing. And then presentations is whenever you have to finally present your final product, and that's how that is covered. 2E. This can be described when I am working in groups or giving some advice and ideas to my group. Like it says to apply active listening skills. That can be whenever I help contribute some ideas and collaborate with my group. 2F can be when I communicate and collaborate with other people amongst the classroom. Maybe instead of having just 2 or 3 people that I talk to, I can collaborate with a more wider range of classmates than just a few. When I have a certain image to uphold and I want to make sure that I represent them very well, when I am talking to a group of people that I don't necessarily know, I want to make sure that my image looks good when I am talking to them, so whoever I'm representing, it would get good and positive feedback from the people I may be talking to. And an example of someone I can be representing is my school, Manor. And this is for TEK 2G. For TEK 3, I can demonstrate this by asking the teacher for help, maybe Googling it online so I can see what results I get, or even just trial and error and figuring it out myself. Can be demonstrated by using email for maybe some contact information, or transporting some videos and audios or pictures that you may need to give to another computer or maybe another person. and as well as internet for Googling and searching up things that may be helpful to what you need. This TEK is kind of going over safety rules and regulations that you need to have. For example, it's not the best idea to climb a tree while filming. Like, it may not be the safest idea for you to have. And that's just an example of a safety rule. This is just an example of understanding something like the fire evacuation, like what you're supposed to do. You will leave your classroom and go to the closest exit door, and you will walk to the back of the school where there's like an open field where you can wait until the fire's out, kind of thing. Like a fire drill, basically. That's just an example of a emergency procedure. Leadership skills, that would just be when I'm working in groups and group together and making sure that each person has a job to do. For example, in my art project, my group, I took on more of the leader role where I made sure that each person was on task and turning in things and this TEK can go along with the previous TEK I just mentioned, because when I'm working in groups like my art project I mentioned, we have to make sure that we're working as a team and together, and as well as like the conflict management skills is just making sure that there are no problems, and if there is, we can address them and fix the situation so we can all once again work together. For participating in meetings, that would just be when the group decides they need to discuss on something, maybe an issue or some changes, just anything of that nature. We can have a meeting and discuss changes and new ideas and contributing to that. For employing mentoring skills, that would just, like, that's pretty self-explanatory, just teaching someone something that they didn't already know. 8A is an idea of when I am working in a group and we all share ideas together to work on a project or whatever it happens that we are doing. For fair use, I have sort of like, it's kind of whenever you use somebody's work, not necessarily copywriting, but it's more of like quoted verbatim as to use for maybe like newspapers or articles, or even whenever someone's just telling you it. And it's a way of like asking for them to use it and not getting in trouble for it. For respecting someone else's property, that can be an example of copyright, and you just don't steal their work and take credit for it yourself, because copywriting is illegal for you to do, and that's just an example of respecting someone else's property. For 9A, this kind of explains if this can lead to a future job, and like some training I can be getting is now in my current class where I am making videos and doing audio work and green screening, like all this different type of communication skills can be very helpful for a job that I am interested in doing, which is like journalism and broadcasting. I think that's very interesting, so this is a very good, helpful, and basically like a kind of like a training, because I can understand what I'll be doing and get a little bit of a feel for that job, because it is quite similar. You participate in training. That is an example of a tryout and getting a feel for the job or whatever it is you're getting training for. And you kind of just understand what you need to know and what you're going to be doing, and just how it's going to be like when you get that job or whatever that is you're getting your training for. 9B, this can be showing positive work behaviors and personal qualities. This is just maybe being respectful and being on time and just having like all the good qualities that you need and what jobs are looking for, and just apply this to school so you can get into the habit, so when it comes to your future job you already get the feel for it, you know what to do, you've been doing this for a while, you understand, and you're set. An example of a letter application would be from this right here, and it's sort of just showing you what you have to fill out and what they want to know, and this can give you to develop a letter of recommendation. There's an example here, and it's just showing you what you need to fill out or what these jobs are looking for, and that is a good representation right here. 9E is saying to create a career portfolio or a resume, and an example of this can be in this picture right here, or video I would say, and it's just showing where you put your experience that you have and your certifications, and this is a way for jobs to know what you've done and what you're good at and if it qualifies to what they're looking for. For 9F, this is an example of kind of seeing what career opportunities and choices are out there for you, and sort of just comparing your options to see which one fits you best, or like what you're looking for compared to the other one, and then evaluating it is just like finding the pros and cons of it, or what has the better fit to what you want your career or job to be. TEKS 10. This kind of demonstrates when we get a video and making sure that we turn it in on time and how. An example of that is having like time management and making sure we plan when things are going to get done and what's going to be done on that day, kind of like a calendar, and each day has a list of new things we're going to do in order to finish our product on time. To explain what's beneficial about leaving the classroom to record. If you, let's say you're doing an audio or video project and you need the videos, but you can't use class time, like you have to do it on your own time. But maybe your group members can all meet maybe sometime in school or outside of school, which can be very stressful to have anything done. And the only thing you can do as class is edit it, but you won't be able to when you have nothing to edit. So if you're allowed class time, like to leave and record what you need, come back and edit it all together, this is all of TEKS 12 contributed into one idea. This is an example of when you talk to people and you get ideas from them. you can all like kind of plan what you want your production to be, and you kind of just formulate all these ideas you have together, and you kind of like list them out and just create that one topic that you want with all the ideas that each of you had contributed together. You start filming any of your production videos. And this is an example of just understanding what you need and the equipment necessary for your video, like having a green screen or having a specific lighting source that helps out the scene in one of your videos, or even having the perfect venue and scene that, like scenery that you need, or just having specific props that understand and go along with what your video is about, and just things of that nature. Kind of explain this and understanding of it. For example, maybe using the correct or maybe the most beneficial camera position, like angles that make the video more interesting and exciting to watch, or having the right effects that kind of draw attention to the scene, or even having titles and captions and just words that you would like to use. And things like that is what it's kind of understanding in this TEK, is how you can edit, the editing process that you use,